Magandang hapon po sa inyo at I'm glad to be invited in this event. 5 minutes platform, let's see. Yung trabaho ng isang legislator for me, one, of course, it's the crafting of laws, the legislative action and the policy advocacy. But and people thought, hanggang dun lang. But actually, there's a second, and it's the oversight function of a legislator. And then the third is, actually, invento ko na lang to, the special functions of a legislator, like, for example, in this case, budget. So anong plataforma ko as a legislator, as a senator, for example, dito sa mga issues na ito? I'm not the president. My only role as a senator is to push for better laws and push for policy changes, and of course in the oversight function. Sa budget po, ang unang gagawin for me, at ito ang binabantayan namin for a long period of time sa House of Representatives. Alam niyo, bantay tayo ng bantay ng nakaw ni Mayor, 10 million, 20 million nakaw ni Governor, but sa budget, hundreds of millions and billions are in fact lost. That is why for me, isang plataforma dapat na i-push ng isang legislator, isang transparent and accountable budgeting process at may involvement dapat ang mamamayan doon sa budgeting process na yon. Marami pong perang nawawaldas at nananakaw pag hindi binabantayan ng budget. Yan po ang ginawa ko na sa House of Representatives at yan din po ang plataforma ko doon sa Kongreso na maging people's budget ang pinapasa natin taon-taon. Second po, oversight function. Nakita niyo naman po siguro sa Kongreso, may mga fina-file kaming resolution to investigate na normally hindi pinapaimbestigahan sa Kongreso for a long period of time. Whether presidente ka man, whether malaki kang kumpanya, whether ano ka mang klase ng political entity or economic entity, the moment we believe na ikaw ay nag-unjustly impose ng rates, for example, like in the case of Maynila, ng Meralco, we will conduct investigations in our capacity for oversight function. We pass these laws, and if these laws are not followed by various sectors in society, then there must be investigation and recommendation on the executive on how to go about it. So ganun din doon sa oversight function. Policy making and legislative. Ang unang tanong sa isang member ng Senado at Kongreso, and even the President for that matter, ay ang issue ng kahirapan. Para sa akin po, ang issue ng kahirapan should be dealt with by all public officials, whether executive or in the legislative. Sa akin, ang aking plataforma po dito, two-pronged economic strategy. The first is genuine agrarian reform. Para sa akin, ang isang genuine agrarian reform is not merely a social justice tool, it is also a development tool. No country in the world, tingin ko in my opinion, no country can develop without genuine agrarian reform. At ang isang plataforma ko sa genuine agrarian reform, dapat subsidize ng gobyerno ang agrarian reform. Libreng pamamahagi ng lupa sa magsasaka, gobyerno dapat ang magbayad ng lupa. Like most countries around the world, gobyerno ang nagbayad ng lupang ito. In the same manner that government spends hundreds of billions of pesos for roads and bridges that lead to nowhere, government must also spend for a genuine agrarian reform. Pag pinabayaran mo sa magsasaka ang land reform, katulad ng CARP ngayon, isang bagyo lang yan, tumba lahat ng palay niya, goodbye land reform na yan. Isang anak niya lang madala sa ospital, wala siya pambayad sa ospital, hindi na po yan makakabayad ng amortisasyon. That is my platform with regards to land reform. Second, industrialization. And for me, this is something new for, I guess, many senatorial candidates because para sa akin, industrialization is a must for us to develop. What do I mean by this? Industrialization para sa akin, para lang maintindihan, is buhos suporta at kapital ang gobyerno sa lokal na industriya at lokal na negosyo. Yan po ang aking paniwala doon. What is the problem here? We do not produce what we need. Kaya kami nag-react doon dati sa APEC is because this. Ang sabi ng Pilipinas, dapat we should produce what we need. Ang sabi ng ibang bansa, no. You don't produce what you need. Produce what we rich countries need. You produce the sugar, the abaca, the copra, and all these raw materials, and allow us to produce what you need. The electric fan, the microphone, the camera, and the air condition and the cars. Lugi po tayo dyan. For me, there must be industry in the Philippines. Hindi po tayo unlad hanggat
hindi, kahit pako man lang po, hindi natin ma-produce. Paano ka unlad? Pako nga hindi mo ma-produce eh. We should have heavy industries para sa akin, steel industry, and medium manufacturing industry. We must have mechanized agriculture. So sa akin po, iyon po ang isang plataforma ko po. And if we succeed in this industrialization, the path to industrialization para sa akin, thousands and thousands of factories can sprout all over the country and provide employment. Employment, para sa akin po, yung strategy ng gobyerno na foreign investor-led economic strategy is wrong. We have been doing that for so many years now. All presidents who went abroad, every time they arrive in the country, they would say, well, I brought with me $100 million worth of investment, $1 billion of investment. Mula pa ata ng panahon ni Marcos yan. Umunlad ba tayo? Hindi naman tayo umangat eh. Para sa amin, of course, investors will be there will be trade, but the main engine of growth is national industrialization when the Filipino people will have, say, steel industry, for example, or we will have the manufacturing industry as a medium form of industrialization and mechanized agriculture, of course. On the short-term side, my platform would be well, isang issue ngayon for me, pension reform is very important. Ang pension ngayon hindi na talaga viable, hindi nakakabuhay ang pension, not only SSS, even GSIS needs a 2,000 peso increase as far as we calculated. Barangay Pension Fund, there must be pension for all barangay officials who work in government for 15, 19 years. May diskriminasyon po sa barangay. I'm a government official, they're government officials. Pero pag may nangyari na, after 3 years, in my stint in Congress, even if hindi na ako manalo sa sunod kong termino, may pension po ako as congressman. Pero sila, 9 years sila in Congress, ni 5 po, wala sila pong makukuhang pension. Last na lang po, this is my ending. Taxation reform. Sa akin po, ang taxation natin po dito napakataas. Malaking laban na po nito sa Kongreso. 1987 po, ang ating 1987 pa actually, ang 500,000 pesos is taxed at 32%. 2015 na po ngayon, ang tax rate po ng 500,000 annual income is still 32%. Government, for me, government deviously refused to recalculate the tax para mapeg siya sa inflation. Bumaba na ang value ng pera, tumaas na lahat ng bilihin, ganun pa rin ang tax rate. So para sa akin po, ang reform sa taxation is a must. Kaya nag-file po ako ng bill recently at tinanong ko ang Philippine Statistics Office, sabi ko, ang 500,000 pesos noong 1987, magkano siya ngayon? Ang sagot po nila, it's 2.7 million pesos. So yung bill na final ko po, 2.7 million, yan ang i-tax mo ng 30%. Pero yung 500,000 pesos annual income, kumikita ka lang ng 40-42 mil kada buwan, you must be taxed at 10%. Pangalawa po, sabi ng research namin sa Ibon Foundation, ang 30,000 pesos is the living wage. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka naman mayaman. Ikaw ay dissenting sweldo lang ang 30,000 pesos. Enough for you to send your kids to school, pag magkasakit, madala mo sa ospital, dissenting living wage ang 30,000. The moment you tax 30,000 pesos, hindi na siya living wage. Magiging 25 na lang siya or 26,000. Doon sa bill po, doon sa pinaglalabanan namin income tax reform bill sa Kongreso, ang second component po ng bill ko ay lahat ng kumikita ng 30,000 pesos a month should be exempted from personal income tax. Kasi po, hindi na siya dapat tinatax. In fact, sabi ko sa BIR, bakit kayo nagsuscrutinize ng million, in fact, 4 million taxpayers pay 30,000 or less dito sa atin? Scrutinize niyo 4 million, wala na kayong trabaho in the sense na hindi niyo na isuscrutinize ang 4 million income tax return at pwede na kayong maghabol doon sa malalaking taxpayers. So basically po, yun ang aking plataforma with regards to economy, national industrialization and genuine agrarian reform, and of course, expansion of social services, stem corruption and abuse in government, and at the same time, doon sa dalawang nabanggit ko, pension reform and taxation reform. At yun pong advocacy at policy at legislative agenda na aking ipupush kung pala rin pong manalo ako sa Senado nitong 2016. Maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.